Get ready for an unforgettable evening filled with powerful insights, meaningful connections, and conversations that could change the game. I'm Ruth Nelson, founder of BYOP on the Go, and it's an honor to host this special episode of In the Know series. Jayden Hisel, a former BYOP player, will be coming on to join us later. But as we get going, Jayden had come up with some exciting questions to ask. This evening, our returning guest is founder and visionary behind Project Train, Play, and Compete, along with TPaC players and their dad, to share their inspiring journey with this game-changing project that we'll learn how this initiative will set the stage for a nationwide movement for teaching, training kids ages 7 under. We're thrilled to have all 4 of you as guests today. So welcome Jonie, Jude, Myles with an I, and Kyle.
Thank you.
We are excited to have you. And before we actually get into, we're going to show the feature video that we put on social media this last week. And it's basically showing, this is when Jonie was certified with 20 of her other coaches from Montana and Capital City. And there you see Jonie in action. And now we jump over to Train, Play, and Compete. And Jude, you and Myles will see some of your friends. Oh, there you guys are.
There we
You're
are.
practicing some serving. And there's Riley, you know, and then there's our new soft light balls, which we're going to ask you about those during the show. But you guys had a great first Train, Play, and Compete. And for those that are watching, you can use that QR code to jump over to Train, Play, and Compete. And you can, and Jonie's going to tell you a little bit as we get going here about our newest and when they're going to jump into this new program. So let's dive right in. So I'm going to start with Jonie, since she has a coaches meeting tonight. So we have some questions for her too, though. But what inspired you to create Train, Play, and Compete? And how did the idea evolve into what it is today, Jonie?
Well, having been a longtime coach and athletic trainer and PE teacher, I haven't been in the public classroom since the 80s, but just how kids are developing and using correct fundamentals, and being a club director and a club coach and a high school coach, it starts to wear on us a little bit that we're having to retrain kids when they get to us in 7th, 8th, and 9th grade. And a lot of them don't know how to throw correctly. They don't know how to move correctly. And since movement is the #1 skill used in volleyball, when I saw your training, Ruth, and you first taught movement, and the second most used skill is talking with hand-eye coordination, it struck a chord with me, like, Ruth knows what she's doing here. And so that was kind of the birth of, I want to help take this across the country. There's a real need. And what I tell people is, we start every other sport in the country at 4, 5, and 6-year-olds. But we don't do volleyball. And I think, it's my personal opinion, part of the reason is, when it became rally scoring, it kind of became a game of failures. The emotional intelligence it takes to play it now, because, if I'm 5 years old, 6 years old, or 26 years old, when I shank the ball, the other team cheers, their parents cheer, and the big red numbers on the wall change.
Jude and Myles, we're going to have to teach you what rally scoring is. But let's go to the next question. How does TPaC differ from traditional youth volleyball training programs? Jonie?
Well, TPaC, we're powered by Go Kids Youth Sports, Ruth's long 25-year proven history of how to progress kids in a positive way through a skill. So even though the game is kind of can be a game of failures because of the nature of it, your training progresses them through skill sets in a positive way. So they have successes early and they have fun doing it. And so with your innovative tools that you're using as well, gives those kids a lot of success around the game.
All right. So now let's find out if it's really as fun as you say it is. So for Jude first, what do you love most about being part of the Train, Play, and Compete event that you participated in?
Probably making new friends.
Making new friends. You mean to tell me there are some new people you didn't know there? Yeah. You think they might have been in school? Are they in school with you also?
No.
No. Okay. So you met new friends. Oh, how about you, Myles? What, wa-
Um,
what was your fun part about being in train, play, and compete?
uh, making new friends.
Making new, oh, so,
That sounds
so
familiar.
now we know making new friends. But Joni said in her statement that it was fun. Would you put that as one of your things that you enjoyed? Did you have fun?
Yes. Yeah.
Aha, yay! Okay, so Myles, can you describe one skill, and that means like passing, tossing, tech catching, you've improved on since the start of the program? So you went in, you did a few things. Do you remember what you really improved on the most?
Setting.
Setting.
Come on, bud.
Wow. So did you catch and set
Yeah.
or did you bat it?
We catch and set.
All right. So I'm checking on Joni's teaching methods. That's why I asked about the catch and set, because if she was having you bat the ball, then you know what we're going to need to do? We're going to have to put it on a report card. That wasn't an A for her, but she gets an A for that. Now, Jude, how about you? What was the one skill?
Probably killing.
The what?
Killing. Hitting the ball.
Hitting. Do you know another name for hitting?
Spiking.
Do you know another name for it?
Killing.
Attacking.
Attack.
So guess what? Joni just got a B in her grade card. So those three things. So you guys really love that aspect of it. So let's jump down to Jayden. She's going to ask a question here in a minute, but I'm going to ask her first one because are you on your computer, Jayden, now or your phone?
No, I'm on my computer now.
Okay, so you're up with a question for Kyle.
Yes. Let's see. So, what changes have you noticed in Jude and Myles since she began the TPaC program?
Yeah, just overall a little bit of confidence and kind of realizing how much one of the bigger things that we've struggled with is how to introduce those different skill developments
Uh-huh.
into the sport without actually just doing the sport.
Uh-huh.
That was kind of the nice thing about the train, play, and compete is you're developing the skills with different games, different ways of developing those skills without necessarily I have to be having a volleyball in my hand and I need to hit it a certain way and it has to go over the net. Rather than doing that, what I found with them is they're figuring out the hand-eye coordination and we're able to do a various amount of things outside of the program that they're just nice and confident about and are developing those just honestly just a little bit of motor skills.
Okay. So
Whether or
that
not it's
progression
directly
of that
related
train,
to
play,
that.
and compete you enjoyed.
Yep.
Yeah. All right, Jayden, let's jump up to Joni because she's on a short time. You're going to ask question number 7, which was normally my question, but now you've got it.
Alrighty, so what has been the most rewarding part of launching the pilot program in Kearney at the SportsPlex?
Oh, we better tell her Kearney,
Kearney.
Nebraska. Oh boy. Guess what? Jude and Myles, Jayden gets a B on her grade sheet.
Oh no.
All
You
right.
know, what fills my heart bank is seeing the kids having so much fun. And that skill progression, like Kyle said, Ruth's program uses these innovative, it's not just necessarily volleyball trying to get it passed to one place. There's a skill progression and the kids are having fun in those skill progressions and seeing the improvement of their hand-eye coordination. They get to feel and see their improvement as well. Like Kyle said, the boys are getting more confident, and that's what we're seeing from kids is, all ages. They're coming up and giving us hugs at the end saying, oh, I've improved so much. And having a young child be able to articulate that is just heartwarming.
That's great. All right, Jayden, you get to ask the next question to Jude and Myles.
Alrighty, so what's your favorite part of your weekly training sessions,
And
Jude?
don't say it's to be with your friends, your new friends, because we already know you enjoyed that.
Mhm.
Fight gameplay at the end.
The play at the end. Oh,
when you
Yeah.
bring it together.
okay. So you played. Did you use the correct skills that you practiced and learned?
Yep.
Oh,
The
yep.
tech.
All right. Well, Joanie gets an A on her grade card, so we're grading her each time.
And Miles, what's your favorite part of weekly training sessions?
When we got to set the ball to the person on the other side, and then they caught it and set it, and then the teacher would set it to the person, and then they would hold it so that way the kid.
So you caught it and you set it, and then normally in a game, you catch and set it, and then you set it to what, Jude? Would you tell me you liked?
Next.
The attacker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. All right. Miles, I see you. I see you attacking it. All right. So let's go to Kyle real quick. How has the structure and philosophy of TPaC aligned with what you hoped for in a youth sports experience?
It's got a fun environment that engages the kids.
Okay.
Overall, they're excited to go. They're excited to, I mean, as they mentioned, meet new friends and really explore a different sport or further their knowledge in a sport. But they're developing skills without a insanely competitive environment. It's not like, oh, if you don't get it 100% right, we're gonna cut you or something like that. That's not the approach that this takes, and that's very much appreciated as a parent. It's got good philosophy, good virtues with it that just kind of make it fun, informative, and a good development program.
Okay, so let me just ask a second part of that, and then Jayden's going to ask Joanie another question. So, in any other past experiences, would you say this is a 360-degree difference in their approach?
Well, the thing about 360 degrees is it goes right back to where you started.
Uh-huh.
So 180 versus a
Okay.
360, maybe. But we've honestly been fortunate to be able to have a couple different programs that we've tried, not necessarily with volleyball. This was the first
Volleyball experience.
program that we've been able to really identify and develop skills like this. But different team sports that we will do, say with other programs, other just youth team development kind of events. We've been fortunate enough to have a good environment in any scenario that we do. This just developed in a different way that made it more of an interactive fun rather than just exploring just a lot of what we encounter with others is just that team building, which is a great
Sure.
developmental aspect, but the skills base and the actual coaching, that's really what kind of took off for this
Okay.
program.
All right, Jayden, let's give Joanie another question.
So, Joanie, what do you envision for the future of TPaC as it expands nationwide?
Well, our plan is to work to provide a complete volleyball training program for a community, a YMCA, a club system. So all the practice plans are there. The coaches are trained. We think volleyball is a sport that coaches need trained in because it is so technical. And then there's that emotional component and the team dynamic as well. And then we are developing leagues across the country for 1st through 6th grade boys and girls in various communities. And we thought we were going to have 1 or 2, but it's turning into 5 or 6. They're going to be ready to go this fall across the country in various areas. And so we're excited about that to bring this great sport into a community.
Okay, so Myles, what do you think about being part of this program for the first one ever to be in Kearney, and especially at the SportsPlex, which is a brand new facility with clean floors? Were you surprised at how big the SportsPlex was? Were you surprised how
Yeah.
big it was?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How many? Okay, here's a question for you. How many courts are in the Sportsplex?
How many did you play on?
Oh, Jude knows. Okay, Jude, what's the answer?
6.
Is that correct, Joni?
We used 6, that's right,
Okay.
but there are 12 total.
Okay, Joni gets another A on her grade card. And Myles, we're going to still ask you this. What do you think of being part of something for the first program ever to be in Kearney? Is it fun to be been part of this first 6-week TPaC program?
Yeah.
But why? No, you know I was going to ask you why. You just get yes or no. No, why? Because you got to be with your friends and new friends.
A little bit.
How about being with your brother?
Good.
Was that okay, or was that really great?
That was great.
Okay, be careful. Yeah, you be careful when you get off here. You may get a pinch or something. All right, so Jude, how about you? What was it like for you to be part of this first time ever?
It was pretty awesome.
Okay, it was awesome because there were lots of kids, there were lots of courts, there were lots of volleyball. What was it that you really liked about it?
What I really liked about it was how we met different coaches every time we had a new practice.
So you did all kinds of new things then, huh? And you got to do things with the tennis ball. How did you like the puffer?
The puffer balls were fun.
Yeah.
One of my favorites. Now, you don't have the big puffers yet. Joni's going to get some of those later,
Yep.
but I use the big puffers. And if you're at the clinic on the 31st, I'll bring a few of the big puffers so that you can see them. All right, Jayden,
And I
let's
have
jump to
some too.
Joni. Let's
Yep,
jump to
and then
Joni's
I'm
last
ahead.
question because she's got to leave.
Alrighty, so how do you incorporate life skills or personal development into the athletic experience through this program?
Well, I think like Kyle had mentioned too, when the kids have success, they feel more confident and really wanting them to be, hey, I can bloom wherever I'm planted. This is a, a unique training technique and I'm going to pour into it. I'm going to have success. I think the other thing is, and the kids don't realize it yet at this point, but us parents notice it, is because of the way that Ruth's training progression happens, the critical thinking skills, the feedback loop to the kids, is present there. And so they start to develop their own feedback loop without having such a big emotional component like Kyle had mentioned. If we would have put a ball in right away without teaching them hand-eye coordination or movement talking, there would have been a high failure rate. Where when we use tennis balls and puffer balls in Ruth's curriculum, then they can have success doing those things. And they know right away, oh, I've got to do this. I need to step over here more to catch that puffer ball. And they can focus on those key important skills and develop their confidence, their critical thinking skills, and of course have fun and meet new friends along the way.
Is there anything you want to just leave our viewers, because we know you got to go to a coaches meeting?
Yeah, just we're super excited to serve the United States and beyond, and in bringing a complete volleyball training program for 10 and under. It's oftentimes, being used for 12 and under kids, and have the support that the parent coaches or certified coaches or mentor coaches are going to need along the way. And there's lots of new and exciting things coming with it all that that I won't spill the beans on just yet, but it is, exciting stuff.
Okay, Joni, hey, thanks for being on and good luck in your coaches.
Yeah, well, thank you.
Jayden,
Bye-bye.
let's have you jump over and ask. And for Jude and Myles, if you would wait just 1 second, because Jayden's going to ask your dad a question, and it's question number 9, Jayden.
Alrighty, so what's been the most impactful moment for you as a parent watching them grow through this journey?
I think for an impactful moment, I would say couple weeks in, kind of looking at, their encounters with the different coaches. As they mentioned, they get a rotation of different coaches
Uh-huh.
that teach them different things, and really encountering how they enjoyed just a different aspect. They would, enter in, something similar that they're used to before they develop another skill or another different skill set development. But when they're working through that, and you just kind of see it click for them, oh, well, if I bend my knees just a little bit more, I get the form that I'm really looking for with this. And seeing that, like, me from a distance, I'm standing in the bleachers as I'm watching them develop, or I'm walking on the track or whatever at the Sportsplex. When I'm seeing their interaction with, developing those friendships, but then also really kind of seeing, okay, well, I know that I'm watching their development for how they're jumping at the ball, how they're attacking, how they're setting, not me having to say, oh, it's not quite looking right for your sets, you're not catching it very well. Well, they get that muscle memory, and you start
Yeah.
seeing that real development, and they're really getting after really good skills and really good muscle abilities. That's probably where it kind of really clicked to say that's where
Okay.
this development's going.
All right, Jayden, let's go back to Jude and Myles.
Alrighty, so let's see.
14.
What advice would you give to a friend that's considering joining the program?
Should come to this.
Jude, what'd you say?
What, Miles?
What would you tell your friends?
You should come to this.
But you got to give them a reason. You can't just say you should come to this. What are you going to get them to say? What are you going to say to them?
I'm gonna
It's
say
fun.
That what?
It's
Say that
fun.
one. It's fun. Okay. All right.
What do you think, Jude?
I would say that it helps me in other sports.
Ooh, it's a good one.
That's okay. Can you tell me something, Myles, that you think that was similar to another sport that you've done?
Football.
Football, but tell me what part of football was it similar? And Jude, I'm going to come back to you too.
With the serving with your hand going back.
For hitting and throwing the football. Excellent. Okay.
Mine
Older
was
brother.
mine was when I go down to hike the ball back,
Yeah.
I have to have my knees bent to do that. So do I have to have the same thing in order to bump it?
Yes. You know another name for a bump? Back to the back with the hand raised. What is it? Yes. You got to talk up just a little bit.
Pass.
Passing. Yes. Okay. Here's another one for you. When I'm serving the ball and you're going to pass it up to the setter, it's also called receiving. What sport do you also receive a ball?
You're just talking about it, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, Dad, don't give any hints. I got my hands up. What am I doing? I'm a wide receiver.
Oh. Football.
Yeah.
Oh.
That's excellent. All right. So now tell me this. What did you think about the balls that you used? Was it easy? Did it hurt? Did you have fun? Was it different type of ball than you've ever used before? Or had you never been on the volleyball court? Well, one of you, yes, you were with BYOP, but what did it feel like?
Good.
Good? Did you like the colors?
Yeah.
Yeah, because we got some new colors also. Do you know that we have gone through 12 different balls to find the right ball, the right size? Did you use any oversized balls?
Yeah, we did.
The bigger ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, what'd you think of that? It was easy, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah, there'd be just like catching a football. What if the football was this big? Wouldn't it be easier to catch?
No.
Oh, yeah, I know. Okay, I'll have to see that. You'll have to show me that on the 31st when I come up there. Okay, so you got another question for Kyle, Jayden?
Yes. So, how does TPaC compare to other youth sports
Oh, he
no,
already answered that one. Yep.
we didn't answer that one. Would
Yep.
you recommend this program to other families? And if so, why?
I would. I enjoyed it. They enjoyed it. Again, it's kind of that as Jonie mentioned for the progression of Ruth's program that you have just where you're developing the skills, you build those, you get those down, you kind of figure out how everything plays together, and then at the end of that you have the competition that you are having. Again, they have a clever way of doing a competition at the end where you get to play the game, you get to apply the skills you learned, and it's beyond just joining a team and yeah, let's figure out how to play together. It's developing those skills and then bringing it all together at the end where they really kind of connect it at the end. And the kids seem to get a lot out of it where it's really connecting those skills.
Okay. Well. All right. So a special thank you to Jude Myles with an I. And Jade, the reason I say that with an I is because I spelled it with a Y and I had to change it to an I, but now I know the difference. And Kyle for sharing their incredible journey with us. It was truly inspiring to hear firsthand about their experiences in Jonie's innovative tech project, TPaC, which successfully launched its first season in Kearney, Nebraska, where both Kyle, Jude, and guess what? Myles live. We're excited to see this dynamic program expand this fall, rolling out in Montana with Capital City Volleyball Club and returning to the world-class Kearney SportsPlex for another impactful season. We wish you, Jude and Myles, continued fun with your friends and skill development over the summer as they continue their TPaC journey. And for those who haven't yet connected with Train, Play, and Compete, we encourage you to explore this groundbreaking program and learn how to get involved by going to www.trainplayandcompete.com. Now, before we get going, we want to be able to see, and let's hear more, Jayden, about how teachers, parents, recreational directors, or youth coaches can become a certified Go Kids Youth Sports Skills Trainer.
So if you're passionate about teaching kids ages 10 and under, explore the Go Kids Youth Sports website to register as a host for your certification course. Early registration offers a special discount on your membership to RN Sports Gym, including an 8-week training program, a one-on-one session with founder Ruth N. and full access to the world's only 24/7 virtual gym.
Wow. Okay. So a huge thank you to our co-host, and she actually made it on time. So you got to tell me, Jude and Myles, should we give her an A or a B on her grade card?
A.
Yay!
All right. And a big shout out to all the certified Go Kids Youth Sports Skills Trainers from Nebraska, Montana, Connecticut, Maryland, DC, and Texas. Stay connected with us on RNN Sports Gym. Like and tag. Share our stories to keep the energy going. And mark your calendars. We can't wait to see you on June 11th at 8 p.m. Central Standard Time for our next In the Know series featuring a surprise guest. And you won't want to miss that. And for those around Kearney, Nebraska, May 31st on Saturday, we have a special program for, guess who's going to be part of it? Myles and Jude. They're going to be part of Learning Skills. Guess from whom? Me. I'm flying in. I will be there. So be sure to sign up at www, Play, Train, and Compete. And we look forward to seeing you next week.